Hey, what's up guys? We've got two news articles today about a brand new Canon RF lens that might be releasing very soon, and unfortunately some bad news about Canon Cinema APS-C camera that they were meant to be releasing, but they actually now might have cancelled it. However, there still might be a little bit of hope into that article, but we'll get into that in a bit. So let's jump straight into the first article, which is about that new Canon lens. So as you can see, apparently a Canon RF 100 to 300mm f2.8 is actually going to be coming very soon from Canon, and it actually might be their next lens that they actually release. So as you can see, this lens also has image stabilization, and there's actually been some rumors that Canon will actually be replacing the EF 300mm f2.8 with an actual zoom lens instead, which will probably make a lot more people interested in this lens because it's a zoom, not just a fixed 300mm. However, if you actually have a look at the price down here, it actually said the rumored price will actually be $9,499 US, which is absolutely insane. So even though a lot more people will probably be interested in actually been wanting to use this lens and actually own it, there's probably going to be a lot less people that actually will own this lens because of that ridiculous price tag. However, you are getting 100 to 300mm f2.8L, and even though the 70 to 200 f2.8 is around £2,000, an extra, let's say 100mm in reach because of the 300. I know you got the 100 as well, but it's only really an extra 300mm in reach over the 200, and it's an extra like $7,000, which is obviously, it's going to be an amazing piece of glass, but it's going to be so expensive, and it's going to be very not needed for a lot of people, especially at that price tag. So it is a little bit unfortunate that it's at that price, because I don't think a lot of people will buy this lens. I think they should be focusing on lenses that they don't have, like a 35mm f1.2 or 1.4, and also an ultra wide angle lens at like a 10 to 22 f4 maybe, I think is needed more than this lens, because I don't think a lot of people will actually use it. But it does actually say it actually will be announced in the next couple of weeks, so I guess we'll actually see the full price of this lens when it does actually come out. And also, if you actually look at the lens hood, $650 just for a lens hood, which will be the ET124. Now, why would they actually not include the lens hood in this pricing? I have no idea, just to get some extra cash, because if you're going to be carrying around a £9,500 or $1,000 lens, you're probably going to want to use a lens hood just to protect it in case you do drop it. And the fact that that's costing probably an extra $650 is a bit mad, but it might not be extra, because it does actually say the lens cap, which is the E112, will be $25. Now, I'm sure this lens will definitely come with a lens cap, so maybe this is just saying if you do want to buy an extra one, or if yours breaks or something, then you can buy it for $650 or $25 for the lens cap. But let me know your thoughts, leave your comments down below, because I actually think this is crazy. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this lens performs, because it is going to be amazing. Image stabilized f2.8 at 300mm. It's going to be so good, but it's going to be, well, it is going to be madly expensive, and not many people will use it. So leave a comment down below of your thoughts. Will you be interested in this lens? So now jumping into the next article about, has Canon axed their Canon EOS R7C plans, which is a CR2, and the CR2 is actually, it's not a fact, but it's the one below a fact, so it's actually information from a very reliable source. And I did actually make a video not long ago on the Canon R7C about how they actually will be releasing this camera soon, hopefully, and how it probably will be rivaling the Sony FX30 with their cinema lineup with being APS-C. And I think that R7C will be an amazing camera, and something I will definitely be interested in, because the C70 and the C300 Mark III are both Super 35 sensors, and it's really similar to APS-C sensors as well. So I think the R7C would have been amazing. However, it actually is saying now that they might have actually axed their plans to actually release the R7C. And if they have axed it already and going to be using a different camera, that's probably going to be a couple years down the line. And the FX30 would have been out for like 2 or 3 years by then. So they need to actually release something soon, I think, to compete with the FX30, because the FX30 at that price is a really good like price point for that camera. It can do so much, and it's a really great camera. I think Canon need a camera like that out at that price point for the RF mount. So it says last year they actually reported, which I actually made a video, that the R7C was likely for 2023. An APS-C Cinema camera seemed like a new direction for Canon, but unfortunately that project has been scrapped in late 2022, which I actually did see last year, but it was a little bit, is it true or not? But this is actually looking like it might be confirming it. And it actually says they might have gone in a different direction and won't be using the R7 as the base for an APS-C Cinema camera body. So this is where I said there actually might be a little bit of hope for this camera, because it might not be the R7C, but it might be a completely new camera overall, like a completely new name for a camera, a new camera built from the ground up, where it actually might only be a cinema camera instead of a photography camera as well. Because if it was an R7C, it would have probably been like the R5C, having like the 30 megapixel sensor and also all the photo specs on the R7. However, they actually probably would have been a really good choice, and that would have probably beat the FX30 in my opinion. However, they probably had to bump the price up quite a lot, and they probably want just maybe a cinema camera in that region. So maybe they just will release like an APS-C really cheap cinema camera to rival the FX30, instead of having it being really good photography specs as well. So maybe that's where they're going to be going into, and they say they don't actually know what direction they will be going in, but they do think an APS-C Cinema camera is in the pipeline, and I actually really do hope so, because I think this camera will be amazing and very, very popular. So again, leave your thoughts down below. Are you annoyed the R7C has been cancelled? Personally, I am as well, because I would love a cinema camera which is also really good at photography, just like the R5C, but just a cheaper version of it basically. That's what the R7C actually sounded like to me. Or are you just a cinema camera user, just a videographer, and you're not bothered about the photography specs? And obviously, if you're removing them photo specs, you can either make the video specs even better, or just keep it the same and make the camera cheaper. So leave your comments down below. Are you interested in this new APS-C Cinema camera Canon might be releasing, or are you not interested at all? So leave your comments down below, and they're the end of the articles anyway. If you did like this video and found it helpful or interesting, why not hit that like button and subscribe to see more videos like this in the future, and it'll actually just really help me out in general. I'm 100 off 1,000 subs now, so it will be great if you can hit that subscribe button. And if you did enjoy this video, you might actually like this video up here, where I actually say 5 reasons why you should actually buy the Canon R6 Mark II, and how it actually does crush the Sony a7 IV in my opinion. So if you do want to go watch that video and you actually might be interested in that camera, make sure you click here next.